We got some massive Bills injury updates, and this has some major implications for this Sunday's upcoming game against the New Orleans Saints. So let's talk about it all right here. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Bills Digest. I'm your host, Anthony Senicar, and we are officially in the full swing of the NFL season. There's only one issue. 73% of you guys who are watching this video right now are not subscribed to the channel. Subscribe, join the army here at Bills Digest to stay in touch with all your latest Bills news. And like I said, guys, we got some big injury updates from head coach Sean McDermott going into this Sunday's game against the New Orleans Saints. Speaking to the media on Friday, he ruled out two key players of the Bills defense and had two guys listed as questionable. So let's take a look at that full injury report right now. The two guys who are not playing this week against the Saints did not practice all week, Matt Milano and Ed Oliver. Speaking about them earlier this week, though, it sounded like Sean McDermott was optimistic that they are on the right track to return at some point, either next week or after the bye week. So, again, nothing to be too concerned about, and I guess the skill level of this opponent and where they are, no need to rush them back from injury right away. Two guys who were questionable this week. Big one in right tackle Spencer Brown, who is one of the more underrated tackles in the league, and rotational defensive end AJ Epenesa, who was limited all week and was questionable. Going back to Spencer Brown, losing him is going to be key. It is going to be hurt a lot, but take this in consideration. Spencer Brown going from DNP Wednesday and Thursday to limited Friday and being questionable versus Saints. It is worth pointing this out. In his lone inactive game last year, due to injury in Week 11 against KC, he was the exact same. DNP on Wednesday and Thursday, limited on Friday, and questionable for the game. He did not dress for that game against the Kansas City Chiefs. And the Bills still went out there and beat the undefeated Chiefs at that point in the season. I think taking into consideration your opponent, taking into consideration that it is a marathon, not a sprint, if you have to, give Spencer Brown the one-game break. Have him back next week. Don't want to re-aggravate anything. And I think just you're playing the New Orleans Saints. Take the week off and let him come back next week fully healthy. On the flip side, AJ Epenesa, who is limited all week, I have a feeling that he will be active on the game day roster. But taking into consideration, Landon Jackson, who was the Bills' third-round pick, has been inactive all week. So this gives you flexibility of letting AJ give him a day off and let Landon Jackson get some reps in against the Saints. Now going from the Bills side of the ball, let's take a look at the Saints injury report and one very big name on there for the New Orleans Saints, that being Chase Young, who's officially out as long as a lineman and a receiver who is questionable. Chase Young is a big part of that Saints defense, a very solid pass rusher, about Greg Rousseau level pass rusher who can cause issues and frustrations for the O-line. And having him out is going to be very interesting to see how the Saints pass rush gets after Josh Allen. Now, speaking about the Saints defense, let's take a look at the Saints defense as a whole. Saints are 0-3 and 4th in the NFC South. They have a middle-of-the-pack defense, but on paper, they have given up a ton of points. Their passing offense, 17th ranked in the league right now, allowing 210 yards on average per game and 7 touchdowns in total. Rushing defense, 14th ranked in the league at 103 on average, allowing and 2 touchdowns. Total defense, 15th in the league, 313 yards on average they're allowing, and 10 touchdowns. And then their scoring defense, 25th ranked in the league, allowing on average 30 points a game, 2 total touchdowns, and their red zone defense is completely abysmal, 29th ranked in the league with an 80% touchdown allowance when the opponent is in the red zone. This is going to be very interesting for the Bills. James Cook is on fire. Josh Allen and the everybody eats mentality is on full display. And the Bills, I have been pushing for them to push the ball down the field, but I think that might be on hold for another week. Looking at the Saints defense, it is very interesting. The Saints defense has a 60% use of two high high safety shell, which, again, the reason for that is it doesn't allow for deep plays down the field. A 69% use of zone coverage, 82% use of a four-man rush, and an 18% blitz rate. They are going to let them beat you by 1,000 cuts, and this is a perfect matchup for the everybody eats mentality. I have been pushing for the Bills and Josh Allen to push the ball down the field, and I don't think that's going to happen against the Saints. I think we're going to see a big game from a few different receivers. Having a four-man rush is not going to work against the Bills. Yes, you can run zone defense, but Josh is going to find the weak points at every point of that, and I expecting a big game from one or two receivers from Josh, and if Jimbo has another big game, do not be surprised. That too high shell safety is going to let you nothing over the top and have stuff underneath, so we will see how that works out for the Saints, but I'm fully expecting everybody eats to be on full display. And speaking of the offense, let's take a look at the Saints offense. Not a lot of big names and not a very, very good offense. 15.7 points per game. Rushing attack, 102 yards. Alvin Kamara in that backfield is still a solid running back. Their passing offense, led by Spencer Rattler, is 199.7 yards per game. Their total yards per game is 302. Their third down percentage, 35%. Their red zone TD percentage, 50%, and they average about 0.7 turnovers per game. Spencer Rattler is the starting quarterback. Kamara, obviously the leading rusher, and their tight end, Jawan Johnson, is their leading receiver right now. This matchup is very interesting for the Bills. Can't really solidify where the defense is at right now when you're playing a Spencer Rattler. They're going to be at home, 1 o'clock which is old school time for the Bills. They used to always be on that, could never get a prime time. Now it's the complete opposite. Always on prime time. Now back to the 1 o'clock spot. The Bills are 15.5-point favorites. Even without AJ Epenesa, if he doesn't play, even without Ed Oliver, obviously, even without Matt Milano, there are a few key guys who I want to see improvement from. I want to see a four-man front. I want to see Greg Rousseau get a sack. I want to see Landon Jackson get some reps. I think this is a perfect opportunity for him. Kind of a bottom-tier offense. Let him get some reps in. This game could be a blow-up by halftime. I mean, the Seattle Seahawks were up at 30-plus points at halftime against the Saints last week, so do not be surprised if this game is a blowout by halftime. I want to see Dorian Williams in for Matt Milano. Depending how this Matt Milano injury goes and where we're at right now, Dorian could very well be the starter from the next season onward if Matt Milano continues to have these injury issues. Dorian Strong, I want to see have a great game. Trey White, Benford, a lot of these guys, this is a good test for the Bills to kind of work on some stuff. Not blitz so much. You get pressure with your four-man rush and let young guys get reps. Let that safety duo of Taylor Rapp and Cole Bishop get some more reps back there. Throw them some funky stuff, kind of test out some things on defense. Let Dorian Strong get a lot more reps against Chris Olave just to kind of put him in situations, make him feel uncomfortable. Trey White, we know what we have with Trey White. Let Dorian Strong get some more reps and see where he is at. And again, Landon Jackson gets some more rotational pieces. I want to see those young defensive tackles get some rotational pieces because we know what we have in Daquan Jones and Ed Oliver, and I want to see these young guys continue to develop through the season. Use this game. I don't want to belittle what the game is, but use this game as a preseason game for the defense to get more reps in. Don't blitz Bobby Babich. Just have a four-man rush. Let Joey Bosa and Greg Rousseau get into the swing of things and kind of cause issues and headaches for Spencer Rattler and the Saints offense. But let me know your thoughts below, guys. I want to hear score predictions, what you guys are expecting from this game. Like I said, the Bills are 15.5-point favorites against the Saints, and we are going to be in a stretch now of a lot of teams that are not the best. But again, let's not look ahead. Let's keep our eyes focused on the Saints. Enjoy this 1 o'clock game. I mean, as of right now, it's the most expensive home game of the season for the Bills, which is crazy, but taking into consideration the opponent. But, 1 o'clock, everybody wants to be there. It's going to be a beautiful day. Expect a high-flying game from the Bills and everybody eats. Don't expect a lot of downfield stuff, but expect that short to intermediate game, the Khalil Shakir, the Dalton Kincaid, the Elijah Moores of the world to have big, big days. I wouldn't be surprised if Jimbo doesn't have too many rushing yards, but has a ton in the screen game. But like I said, guys, let me know your thoughts below. Who are you guys keeping your eyes on? What are you guys expecting? When are you guys expecting Matt Milano and Ed Oliver to come back? And do you guys think even with those injuries, the Bills defense will find a way to pull out a great defensive performance against the Saints? So like I said, love to hear from you guys. So comment down below. As always, guys, please subscribe. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers, so every little bit helps. We got you guys covered all season for everything Bills. So subscribe, stay in touch, stay informed, and as always, guys, go Bills.